Multiple sclerosis. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you about MS. You have a handout. Please write the following down. Number 1, positive Babinski. Go down over there by the bladder on your page and write either urinary retention, and if it's urinary retention, Maria, you're going to teach straight calf. Do that by the urine, by the kidneys, by the bladder. You're way over there on the other side. Go by the bladder, write urinary retention, put teach self calf or straight calf. That's what you're teaching the patient. Teach self-catheterization or residual. Residual is 100 cc's after you peed is still in the bladder. It's called post-void residual. You went to go pee and there's still 100 cc's in the bladder. You're going to also put uricoline for that urinary retention. Again, really make sure you write what I'm saying. Urinary retention, uricoline, which is right here. This is a cholinergic drug. It's going to make you pee. If you have urinary retention, uricoline is going to make you pee. Now, that's one problem the MS patient could have. Or they could have, write this one as a totally opposite problem. Overactive bladder with bladder spasms. So overactive bladder with bladder spasms. So they're going all the time. Spastic bladder, yep. Sometimes they write it on the test as overactive. Yep, is it on there? Good. Okay, spastic bladder, overactive, peeing all the time, right? They're just doing whatever. Here's your deal. Ditch your bedpan, ditropan for that one. Ditch your bedpan, ditropan for that one. Ditch your pan. Both of those are on there. Oh, I'm sure they are. So ditch your bedpan, ditropan. Now, the spasms in the legs, if you look at the legs, the spasm in the legs can hurt so bad that you need, please write it down, dantrolene or baclofen. Spasms in the legs can be so bad that you literally need dantrolene or baclofen. Remember baclofen was on here earlier. Baclofen. They hurt. These spasms hurt. Okay, so that's that. The drugs, Copaxone, Avonex, Rebif, they are all interferons. Copaxone, Rebif, Avonex. Which one's IM only? Avonex. I should show the test. Only 2 of them are sub-Q. I mean, the other 2 are sub-Q. But Avonex is IM. When it comes to these drugs, they give your patient flu-like symptoms. So that they need to take Tylenol with the actual medicine or right before. Take Tylenol before they take Copaxone or Rebif or Avonex. So my sister-in-law has MS, and she got her ass knocked out when she first started these drugs. She was gone. I told her, you need to call in sick because she's a school teacher. She was flat on her ass with flu right after taking these drugs. They're sub-Q, except for Avonex is IM. She had to give them to herself. They're kept refrigerated, and so she would be on her ass, flat on her ass with the flu. And I said, okay, take Tylenol, 1,000, not 500. Just take 1,000 right before, about a half hour before. She never gets the flu again. This is a big part of teaching. take 1,000 milligrams before these drugs, she never gets the flu again. It's really profound.
All three of them have to be refrigerated.
Mm-hmm.
We put that interferon.
They're all interferons.
Oh, that they all are.
They're all a category called interferons. Interferons, Copaxone, Avonex, Rebif. And what they do is they suppress the immune system. Suppress the immune system. Now, the MS patient has myelin degeneration. The myelin sheath is degenerating, and we do 2 tests to figure out what the hell's going on. We do an MRI, which is usually how we figure it out, but we also have done an EMG, electromyogram. Electromyogram hurts like hell. Don't forget that. Electromyogram hurts. It's sticking needles in your muscles. Yeah, exactly. They say doctors be crying when it hurts. Electromyogram is also done for carpal tunnel. EMG. And then the other one is an MRI. The MRI is going to see plaques in the brain.
On my final, it was myelin sheaths in the CNS.
Okay, there you go.
Not in the PNS. There's some disorder that has
Okay, so myelin sheath in the central nervous system, that makes sense because the central nervous system is your brain. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so here's some more love for you on this issue, because you know you got to know MS. The MS patient, if you look at the picture, look what she has wrong. She has some eye complaints. Her eyes are doing weird things. You want to put in there, she has a swollen optic nerve, inflammation of the optic nerve. So she's going to actually have eye complaints, and even though the condition goes from the feet and moves up, she's still going to have eye complaints because it interferes with the optic nerve. Okay, so that's a big deal. Now, with her little eye complaints, that's sometimes first, but usually paresthesia, which is numbness and tingling of the legs, that's first. It's unilateral, so go down there by the legs and put unilateral. Unilateral. Put paresthesia, numbness, and tingling in the extremities. For the vision, you had to know it was blurred or double vision. So that's a big deal. Okay, so they're at high risk for injury and falls. MS is at high risk for injury or falls. This person's usually female. This is an autoimmune disease, and it's progressive. So they're female, it's autoimmune, and it's progressive. Okay, keep it moving. The next page is myasthenia gravis, I think. And what I want you to write on this one is you are going to write that with this patient, you have drugs to worry about, and they must be given on time. Now, this patient is not going to start the way the MS patient started. Remember with the MS patient, the first complaint was usually paresthesia, numbness or tingling in one leg, or their foot giving out, or an eye complaint. Okay, that's that patient. This patient is not going to start from the feet and move up. It's going to be descending and start from the face and move down. So the face on this patient, they're going to start with a lid lag or kurtosis. So their eye is going to literally droop. That's the first sign, ptosis. And they're going to have overall muscle weakness, so we're going to do 2 things for the workup. One part of the workup is an EMG, electromyogram. What do we say about that? The shit hurts. Okay, so muscle weakness, EMG, it hurts. The second part of the workup is this medication on the board, which says Tensilon, and you should have that on your sheet. Look at what it says. Muscle weakness and Tensilon, that's a focus. Here's what's happening with you guys, with your patient. If you give the patient Tensilon and they feel better within 30 seconds, which is what I wrote, you got MG. If you don't feel any different, that's a blessing. So that's what I wrote. You give the patient Tensilon for a muscle issue. Y'all see that? If the muscle gets better within when? 30 seconds of the Tensilon test, then that's bad because you have MG. Now your colleague, Gina, who took the test with you in Tri-C, she's a nurse over at Myrna Mount, she typed this up because she works for me. She wanted to give you everything that was on the test, so she typed this up. If you look at the patient's face, she has a bobble head because her neck muscles are weak, so she kind of wiggles a little bit. She has problems speaking. She clearly has a problem because her speech is not going to be like yours or mine. It's much slower. Her wrinkles in her forehead are gone because to put wrinkles in your forehead requires muscles. Her mouth droops a little bit. Okay? Now, the treatment, I want you to highlight Mestinon. I think that's how they word it on your test. Instead of saying prostigmine, they're going to say Mestinon. What do you have to know about it? That it's timed. Yep, you have to give it within the time it said give it. No leeway. And it is given 30 minutes before meals or your patient's going to aspirate. It is given 30 minutes before meals. It is not something you ever give late, because it can cause a myasthenia gravis crisis. Let me say that again. Myasthenia gravis crisis if you give it late. Okay? It is a maintenance drug, so you see on my sheet it says long term. The patient will not have a gag reflex. The trays will come around. The aide will give her a tray, and she'll promptly choke on it. So that happens. Okay, now, the next thing with that one is crisis. Just read that part, put read but not study. Read but not study. All this is telling you that the difference between a myasthenia gravis crisis, which is you got the drug late or not at all, versus a cholinergic. By the way, make sure you know all of those drugs, Tensilon, Mestinon, and prostigmine, are all cholinergic drugs. So cholinergic crisis means you got too much of it. And I wrote all that already. What kind of diet does a patient need? Soft. What kind of nursing care do you have to remember with this patient? Eye care. Eye care. Take care of their eyes because one eye can't close all the way while sleeping. Okay? Eye care. Eye care. What's the first one I said?
You said arterial.
Oh, yeah.
Soft diet.
Oh, soft diet. Yes, mechanical soft diet. So why would you give this patient a chip? They're going to choke. Don't give them celery. They're going to choke. An apple. They're going to choke. They need really soft food. Meals on Wheels qualify.